like it? Yay!
Yeah. It's been a stressful day.
Oh no.
Yeah,
We're
cousin
recording
died.
now. Welcome to the Mother of Eden podcast. You see, we already got started. I'm your host, Anat. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And we just want to tell you, Mother of Eden is the premier event host for the plant-based vegan community. Our second plant-based dinner cruise is on June 24th on the Newport Levee. We'll post the link in the event of the event in the description. Today we have one of our Vegan Foodie Choice Award winners, Mrs. Dawn Vaflor. Am I saying that right?
You said that perfect.
Yay! Of Purely
Hello.
Sweet Bakery in Beavercreek, Ohio. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I mean, other than, yeah, you heard I did lose a family member, but
No, I didn't hear that.
oh yeah, yeah. But got here okay, and it's all good.
When did that happen?
I just found out today.
I'm so
Yeah. He was a
sorry.
cousin very close to me, and yeah, it's very
I'm
sad, but
sorry.
she would say the show must go on, cuz, so here I am.
Yeah, but if you would have told me, we could have rescheduled.
No, it's
If you
okay.
want. Well,
This is
thank
I was thinking this is actually a good distraction, so it's good.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Dawn.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I always love to sit and chat. And you're an awesome person to
Yay.
chat
Oh,
with.
thank
So,
you. Thank you.
yeah.
We have so much coming up and I can't wait to share.
Oh, I want to
But
hear.
yeah. So that's another reason why we're doing all of this.
Yes, yeah.
So
Great.
are you originally from Dayton?
I am not. I am originally from Marion, Ohio. It's about 2 hours northeast of here. And then my husband, we got married 92. I
I
was
was
not at,
16.
yeah, I was graduated from Ohio State. So we lived in Columbus for about 8 years. And then my husband got a job at the base here. And so that's what relocated us to the Dayton area in
Oh, so he was
1994.
military? He
Pardon
was
me?
in the Air Force?
No, he just did compute. He got hired on as a contractor and, computer tech stuff.
Oh,
And
he got paid
so
good
he's been
money
out
then back
there
then.
for a long
Contractors
time.
get paid good money.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
say.
he's done very well. He's a hardworking guy, so he's done really well.
Yeah. So tell us how Purely Sweet Bakery got started.
All right. So as I said, I went to Ohio State.
Mhm.
I was actually a science major. I was a zoology major and thought that I would
Really?
probably go to, work. I went to work in the educational department in the zoo and just take animals out, do conservation kind of stuff. And, animals are a passion of mine. So I just thought that would just be a fun career field. And so I got my degree. But very long story short, I had some health issues that popped up within just a few months of marriage. And so I had to kind of put my dreams on hold for a little bit. I was told after a major surgery and that probably wouldn't be able to have children, that we need to try as fast and hard as we can to try to have children after I went through this major surgery and allowed my body to heal for some time. Um, so, we went through that process, tried to get pregnant. It took us about 3 years. That's actually, we moved to Dayton, and I keep saying Dayton is what brought the healing. And so I was
Wow.
able to have two miracle boys. And but
Yay.
after that time, I did develop, probably because a whole cascade of issues, major surgeries. I had a lot of infections after surgery. I was on long courses of antibiotics, and now I know, but then I didn't understand it. It just completely disrupted my whole, gut system.
Do you
And
mind telling what did they diagnose you with, if you don't
so
mind?
I had stage 4 endometriosis. Yeah.
Stage
So
so wait a
stage
minute.
4.
I didn't know, or did I know? My daughter's actually going through that right now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tell her to talk to me because, yeah, I've been through some things and what works and what doesn't. And honestly, I didn't even know I'd been having issues for, through my college years, off and on treatment for what they said at the time was ovarian cysts. Now I think I had endometriosis that was just undiagnosed. So that was
Ooh.
around 89, 90. And it wasn't until I had this major surgery in 93 that they found that I had adhesions all over inside. And so I was in a 4-hour surgery. They had to take my left fallopian tube and ovary. They said it was pretty much shot. And my other one wasn't very healthy. But they were going to try to save it. But that's why they said, you guys, I was in a medically induced menopause for 6 months. And then after that,
Oh, wow.
kind of clear that out of the system. And that's when we started to actively, try to have children. And so it took a while, but yeah, finally
Well, I'm
happened.
not gonna
Like I said,
claim it, but that's what they're thinking it is. But for
yeah.
10 long years, we've been trying to figure out what's been going on because
Oh,
it started when she was about 10 years old. She started
oh,
complaining about really harsh back pain, and she's been in chronic pain for 10 years. And she
oh,
finally got a doctor to listen to her.
yeah.
And a lot of
Yeah.
times that's the problem too, that,
Yep.
they don't listen to women for some reason. I don't
Right.
know. It's like we don't know our bodies or something like
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
tell you exactly what's wrong, but something is
Yes.
wrong, and
Yes.
I
And
need
you
you to
you
help
do.
me find
You
it.
have to be your own health advocate. I learned that early on in the years of struggling through a lot of things and kind of living in denial, but knowing something was very wrong with my body. And so I learned to be more in tuned, and I did a lot of research. And that's when I found out that there was something else going on inside of me besides just, I had this surgery and I had this female issue.
Mhm.
Um, and that's when, because I was becoming allergic to so many foods and chemicals,
Wow.
and I was losing a lot of weight, and I just felt like I had the flu all the time. And
Really?
so I went through all kinds of tests and stuff, and I finally got this diagnosis in 1996. So after those few years after surgery, I was struggling with all these things, not knowing what was going on with my body, and finally got a diagnosis of something called myalgic encephalomyelitis. And it
I
was
could break that down.
yeah, they call it now MECFS. So they used to call it chronic fatigue syndrome, but now chronic fatigue syndrome is such an umbrella term that means you could just be tired. But I had very serious issues. I developed post orthostatic tachycardia syndrome with it. I
Whoa.
developed all these food allergies. I mean, I had been to countless specialist doctors. I traveled to Cincinnati, to Cleveland, trying to get answers before I
Can
got that diagnosis. And
can you tell us a little bit, like, not everything, but what were
yeah,
some of the things you were allergic to?
oh gosh. Well, wheat, corn, found that I was extremely allergic to corn. And corn's in everything, right? In this
And I love
American
corn.
diet.
I'll just be like, "Never mind, I don't wanna be
Yeah.
here
Yeah,
anymore."
I grew up a country girl. I was out in the country, and we had 3 acres, and we had cornfields around us. And so I grew up right down the street from a strawberry and corn farm. So
Wow.
I grew up loving corn. So when I found out that I, was so allergic, I'm like, well, that explains why my heart was racing so much whenever I would have corn on the cob, or just my eyes would swell up. And then it got
Oh,
to the point where I was having
man, darn.
breathing problems with it. So I had to start, and that was back before they really started enforcing strict labels, where
Yeah,
ingredients
that was
were,
around, like, I wanna say that was around, like, my junior year of high school, like, that was in the early '90s. I remember
yeah,
when
yeah.
nutrition facts came about, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
I had to start looking at labels, and I found that corn was like in everything. It was under a lot of different terminology
Yeah,
too.
I
So
was
I had
gonna
to
say it's
learn
probably
that.
said, like,
Um,
long names.
yeah.
Mhm.
But also like chemicals. So any kind of food that had like preservatives in it, I was reacting to that. Anything that was not natural. And so that's when I started just researching about whole foods and how it can help heal the body. And so I started, I've always been allergic to eggs my whole life. I mean, I didn't figure it out because, when you're a kid, you're just like, Mom, yeah, I have a tummy ache. But by the time I got into high school, if I had cookie dough, I was sicker than a dog. And then I had a raw protein drink with raw egg in it in college, sicker than a dog. So I'm like, I'm allergic to egg. So
Oh
I
my
took eggs out of my
gosh.
diet. So I was eggless before it was, considered a thing way, way back then. But then, yeah, I just developed all these other things. And so I just started just eating very whole foods, just, a lot of vegetables, fruits. I didn't know a lot about plant-based dieting at that time, except that I
Mhm.
read a couple books about people who were doing that.
Mhm.
And
It
so
wasn't very popular back then, not like it
right.
is. I mean, it's just like trending now, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So it took quite a long process and a journey to get to where I am today. Um, but that started turning my health around. It didn't completely change it, but it really started to turn the trajectory of how sick I was to feeling more like I was coming back to myself
Yeah.
through nutritional therapy and through changing my diet.
So that whole process went from as far as, like, from when you said you had chronic fatigue
Mhm.
and illness, like, so how what was the year span with that? How many years did you go through all of that?
So I when I was at my sickest, when I got the diagnosis, that was like 98.
That's
So I
when you
saw,
got your sickest.
yeah, because I like they were
Wow.
trying to figure out from 96 to 98. I was going through all the testing and stuff, and then I find it was like 98 when I finally got this diagnosis. And they, my doctor then just basically said there's really not a cure for that. Just try to rest as much as you can. And I had a 2-year-old. I had my
Wow.
miracle boy,
Yeah.
but he was 2, and I had to have energy. And thank the Lord, my mom was in my life here locally, and so she came in and helped with my both boys actually quite a bit. And but from 98 until 2010, somewhere around there, I struggled a lot with this sickness. It cycled. Sometimes I'd have better, I'd have to reevaluate. Well, does this food bother me now, or is that, and it's because it's an immune dysfunction. It's a dysregulation of the immune system. It's just unpredictable. So I just tried to do the best I could with, nutritional therapies. I saw a naturopath. I did alternative medicine because I couldn't take any traditional medicines because I would react to that so severely.
It's all
Like from,
trash anyway.
oh yeah, I mean, antibiotics, forget it. Like breathing problems, going to the ER
Really?
kind of
Oh,
reactions.
wow.
But it was my naturopath in Cincinnati. She really began to help turn things around and got some things evened out. And I just kept on this path of gluten-free eating. And let me tell you, back in that time, the stuff that was out there was not great.
Kinda like with the
So,
with the plant-based diet too, like cheeses and everything was really terrible.
oh
I
yeah, there
went
was just,
plant-based in 2011, and I just wouldn't
yeah,
eat things that would call for cheese. I
yeah.
just mm-mm.
Yeah, I used to eat almond cheese, back in the, probably
Wow.
early 2000. I was eating, and I would do a little bit of goat cheese at that time because, like I said, there was just, my choices were very limited. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, almond cheese was my go-to. And yeah, it was high protein, so that's why I did it. It melted like cheese, so I thought, well, I'm
You
just
didn't
gonna
make
hang
it, you
out with,
bought it?
I bought it. It was very
Oh, okay.
expensive. Yeah, but it was, yeah, a little health food store in Huber Heights, NutriFoods.
I
She
haven't been
stocked
to
that
that
kind of
one.
stuff, and
Oh,
so that and
wow.
Healthy Alternative in Beavercreek, I would do my shopping at
I
sometimes.
live right around the corner from a healthy alternative. I live in
Oh
Clayton,
yeah.
Inglewood, yeah.
Oh right, yeah. So yeah, I go to Healthy Alternative and get a lot of my stuff there now in Beavercreek. But yeah, it was rough back in the day to find baked goods that were really good and all that. So that's kind of how I started just experimenting with things at home, just like, okay, I've always loved baking. I come from a lineage of bakers, very talented on both sides of the family. So I just, since I was home, with my kids, I am not able to work because I was not well enough. Some days I could work if I wanted to, but because the inconsistency, I just said, I'm just gonna be home with my babies and just cherish them at this time and raise them and go back to work and do a career thing, maybe later down the road if I'm better. And so I just started playing around with recipes and I started baking. I was baking traditional stuff for everybody else, right?
Mhm.
Because I love to bake and I just needed something to do with my creative outlet and do something with my hands. And so
Yes. Yeah.
I just started baking, just family functions, school functions, and that's what got me my big break. I started winning little contests, local things, and people are like, "You're so talented. You should go into business." And
So what was your first gluten-free, like, big request from people before you started your own bakery? Like, what was the thing that made you go, "Okay, maybe this is something and I need to open up a brick and mortar or start a business or whatever." What was
yeah,
that? What was that
yeah, great
dish?
question because I actually was just recently going through some old photos, and you kind of
Oh.
forget like what you were doing before you became an LLC.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just had this great opportunity. I was doing farmers markets for a couple of years, and
Mhm.
I was just doing traditional stuff at that time because it gave me something to do, make me feel like I had a little purpose outside of just being a mom. I love doing it, but
I
I
did
was
the
just doing.
stay-at-home mom thing for 7 years. Trust
Yeah,
me, I know.
it's a great blessing.
You
I
lose
and
your
I
It's a blessing, but Lord, do you lose yourself.
It's true. And I always had to find something. So I was selling women's clothing on eBay, like put little sets together, like a full set and sell them. And so I had to always do something creative, with my time and my whatever talents and stuff. But, but yeah, it was definitely a turning point when, I said, that's great. Other people are doing this kind of stuff already, but I want to do what I'm passionate about. So let's just see what happens. So I started doing more of these raw desserts and just healthier kinds of things. And I got noticed by this restaurant in Inglewood, actually. Do you remember? And it's been closed for probably 7 or 8 years now. And it just, I went back on her Facebook page and looked over it again, and I was just
I know exactly what you're about to say. Oh, I
the,
missed them.
the
They
Green
were
Nature
behind the
Cafe.
Yes, they were behind the
Yes,
Esther Price. Oh!
yes.
They used to make the
The
frozen, then
banana
I started.
whip.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, but then I started making it myself, so I was like, "Okay, it's not
oh,
hard." But,
yeah,
oh,
yeah, so good.
that you just broke my heart all over
I
again.
know, I know.
I
When I
forgot.
went back and looked at those pictures, I was like, oh my gosh, I miss this place so
So
much.
what did you have in there?
So I did raw desserts for them. I did raw vegan cheesecake, gluten-free vegan cheesecakes. Yeah, that's why I was like, I've got to resurrect these old recipes and bring back that who I was at the very
Yes.
beginning.
Do
Yeah.
you know? So, we run the Vegans of Greater Dayton, Cincinnati page on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
So they mention, sometimes people go, "Do you know?" And I know I'm getting ahead of myself in this interview, but somebody had, and I know I asked you about this before, but let's just put it out on here
Yeah.
because somebody said, is there any place in Dayton that does yeast donuts that are
Oh
vegan? And people were, chiming in with all type of stuff, and they were like, "No, that's not quite." And no,
yeah.
like Whole Foods has some really good vegan donuts, but they're not yeast.
Oh
They're
yeah.
cake donuts, but they're
Yeah.
really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And then somebody said, "Purely Sweet Bakery does sometimes." And I'm like,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh." So that's when I asked you about it. So
Yeah.
tell me, you said something about the process, and um you said something about the process being really long, and
Yeah. Well, you mean as far as getting to the LC part?
no, I'm sorry, I'm saying about the yeast donuts
Oh,
specifically.
okay.
Why
Yeah.
don't you
So
carry them all the time, or yeah.
well, so the problem with that is I don't have a deep fryer because I don't have a hood.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
So if I had a different location where, I could add that, but I don't even have room for any of that right now. So when I was talking with my inspectors, I'm like, is it okay if just once in a while I just on an induction stove top and, just small batch and, so it's like, that's why I kind of do it here and there, but I don't make a regular thing of it. I know.
Okay, guys,
I
you heard
know.
that. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I'm I love my space I'm at right now. I mean, we have 2,000 square foot space, commercial kitchen space, and
That's
it's
amazing.
it's served a great purpose for everything that we do. We have 16 wholesale accounts. We have that retail location partnership with Coffee Hub. Um, we have our food truck. But we're just really outgrowing the space. So it's just always that, is this a time to expand? Do we want to
You're
expand?
taking away my questions, but go ahead. No.
Oh, sorry.
No, 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 keep going. That's good, that's good. No, because I wanna know that. Like, so yeah,
Yeah.
so is that you don't know yet still?
Yeah. Well,
You're
we
still in the
we
limbo
actually have
phase?
we've looked through for some other spaces because let me just say we're about that half million point in sales. So we've grown so much,
Yeah.
and that's wholesale. Okay, that's wholesale.
That's
So
wholesale, that's not even retail.
that a lot of that is wholesale.
I didn't even
So,
know you were doing wholesale.
oh
So
yeah, we're largely wholesale. Yeah, that's what we mostly do is wholesale. So that all that space back there,
wow.
we're cranking out stuff every single day. Hmm.
So where do you have some of or you say wholesale, so where is some of your stuff shipped, I should
So
say?
we wholesale to all three Dorothy Lane Market stores. We wholesale to Jungle Gyms in Cincinnati. Hmm. We
Wow.
are in multiple coffee shops. We're in Troy at Heron's Market. We're at Grounds for Pleasure in Tip City. We're in all four-ish. She's got Coffee Hub has 5 locations, but we send
Who's
products
that?
to I think 3 to 4 places now
Okay.
consistently. And then Holy Grounds downtown Dayton, on Wayne Avenue.
On Wayne, mhm.
Hmm.
It's a really
We're
cute
looking at,
spot. I didn't know
yeah,
your stuff was down there. Okay.
yeah. We just got asked for another coffee shop. We're in the works in Springboro, so that might be an up and coming thing
Okay,
soon.
so she can't tell us yet. That's what that
Not just
means.
yet. Not yet,
That's
not official.
okay.
And
Well,
then
you're spreading your
and another
wings.
donut shop, another donut shop. And I even said, if you have a separate fryer, I'll sell you my yeast donuts, and then you can have gluten-free vegan yeast donuts. So I'm waiting to hear back from that.
Gluten-free
Yep.
vegan yeast?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm really hoping that one works out. Yeah, because they're
Gluten
good. They're
OMG.
good. My donuts are. I mean, when people, I've made them for special orders, and they are
I've never even heard of that.
really.
Just
Yeah.
the fact that vegan okay, so my mom and I went to Cleveland this weekend, and I don't know if you've ever heard of the vegan donut company in Cleveland?
Oh yeah, I follow them on Facebook. I know they look
I finally
amazing.
went there. I was just like, "Oh my god," because that's majorly what they have is yeast donuts. So
Yes.
the fact that there's just vegan yeast
Yeah.
donuts is great, but gluten-free vegan yeast
Yeah.
donuts,
Yes. I'll make
I
you a batch.
can't. Don't do that.
Yeah, I'll
You should have
have
told
to.
me that in person. No, everybody's gonna be jealous.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. If you
Yeah.
do that, I'll come running.
I know that. I mean, like I said, we just have so many things that we're really considering and thinking about. Um, it's. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna tell you straight up, and it hasn't been easy either because of the
Oh,
cost
I'm
of things.
sure. I'm
And
sure.
sometimes we're still struggling just to get some of these specialty. We do a lot of organics. We do very clean ingredients, but sometimes it comes at a price. Sometimes we can't get. Oh, here's my kitty cat. Oops.
Hi. My daughter, I'm a grand, cat mother.
Oh, cat lady, grandma
Cat
cat lady. I love it.
and she's, like, really I don't take this the wrong way. I'm not really a cat person, but my
Yeah.
daughter's cat is the only one. She's a tortie, and she's, like, the
Oh,
only cat that I really like. Oh my
oh, and this
gosh.
guy right here, he is so sweet. He
Look
is
at
just a
him.
little lover boy. Obviously, because look, he's like, I need mommy time.
Mhm, and a
I
lot of
know.
times when they see that somebody else's attention, they're very much like little kids, like, I mean, dogs are too, but it's like, "Wait a minute, who are you talking to? Let
Yeah.
me get some action so I can have some attention."
Yeah.
Um, so where were we?
We
So
were talking
you
about those yeast donuts.
yeah, I just can't get off of that, but okay, and I'm gonna look, if you make me some, I'll come running, but
Okay.
I won't tell anybody because, but I mean, things can change where you can start selling them at another location or whatever, or
Yeah.
if you open up another location. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
I can at least tell
we're
everybody.
I can say I'm just gonna go ahead and say this
Don't
officially here, even though it's not official.
no, don't do
No.
it if you. Mm-mm.
Okay. I'll tell you something later then about something that's happening
Yeah,
very
you can
soon.
tell me after this is over because you have to
Okay.
kind of stay on for a little bit afterwards anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, don't do
Okay.
it.
I will defer to your judgment on that. You've been around the track on
No,
this stuff
I
a little bit.
mean, I'm just my mom is a stickler and was a stickler even when I was a kid. Just don't if it's not done yet,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't say anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
Just don't
point.
say anything because if it doesn't happen, then people are like, or whatever.
Yeah,
You just don't mess up your juju. Don't mess
right.
up your, you know,
Right.
let God do it first.
Right. Right.
Let it be completed.
Yes,
And then
yes.
we'll, I don't
Yeah.
want you to
Good
let it
wisdom
be a
there.
surprise. But I know I can tell you're really excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear you. You could tell me, and I definitely won't say anything.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Okay, you froze
Uh-oh.
for a second.
Okay, there we go.
Um, so what's coming up next for you? Do you have any events coming up or
Um, so Easter's coming up, so we're busy taking Easter orders right now. We have our window open and for ordering until Tuesday. We're doing our very popular chocolate covered peanut butter eggs. Delicious. This was my grandmother's peanut butter Buckeye recipe that I just convert over
Oh,
to peanut
and
butter
made it
eggs.
egg shape.
Yeah, and they're so good.
And they're
Very
gluten-free as
creamy.
well?
Mhm.
Everything is gluten-free, right?
Yeah,
In your
everything we
bakery.
do first is foremost gluten-free, and then we break it down into the gluten-free, vegan, and keto, and I'm doing a lot of keto that's now vegan. I've figured out
So
some things, and
we
it's
gotta go back though a little bit. Sorry.
okay.
We
Yeah.
gotta go back though. So what was the turning point for when you said, "I've gotta get a location"? Because you said you were doing farmers markets and stuff like that
Yeah.
and festivals first. When was
Yeah.
that turning point?
Yeah, so, I was getting kind of tired of producing from home. The constant mess and cleanup and trying to do life around that.
Mhm.
So I started looking for commercial kitchen space, and um, I had just gotten into Second Street Market, and then
Oh,
Dorothy
you
Lane
were
Market
there?
picked me up pretty quickly after I got out there because the one of the head chefs out there saw something posted on her feed from a friend that commented something on my page, and she's like, I've got to meet this girl. So she came out to the market, and that's when she said, why don't you come to the culinary school and show us a recipe? And so I thought, well, this may be my one and only chance that I go. So I'm going to take some of my product and see if maybe I can wholesale with them. And that's how that door opened.
Wow.
And so things just dramatically went, exploded. So I'm like, I definitely need commercial kitchen space. So I got uh, a little kitchen space in Oakwood. It was called the Harrison House
Mhm.
restaurant. It used to be like a big, in the 40s and 50s, a big, hangout, hoity toity, fancy restaurant. And then it went through some hardships after the original owner passed away, and so the daughter came back from California, tried to get that going a little bit as a catering place. So they had two,
Bye.
oh yeah, bye baby. So they had a kitchen upstairs, and then they had this smaller commercial kitchen downstairs. So I rented there for about 6 months, and then they had to sell because it was just hard to get it off the ground, so they sold. And so I was looking for another place, and so another fellow business out at Second Street Market said, hey, we have this extra space in the back of our spice warehouse,
Mhm.
would you like to go in there? So I really got to thinking about, what do I really want to focus on? if I had this opportunity, and I'll be honest, I was in a place that, they worked on a little bit of flour once a week. So at that time I said, if you have celiac, I am not the bakery you need to go with at this time.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was tough because
Okay.
I needed to be somewhere. I mean, there's a whole other backstory, but I literally had to be out of that commercial kitchen in 24 hours. That's how fast the turnover was. So I was in
Wow.
like desperation mode. Um,
Gosh, the
so
pressure.
I planted myself there. And so yeah, that's where I was. But so that was for a couple years. And then their business, some things happened there. And so they said, we're just going to sell. Do you want this whole space? And I was like, wow, this is an opportunity. Now I can really put myself out there, really get things cleaned in here, make it gluten-free, celiac safe. It went through all the
Which space was
testing.
that again?
Well, where we are right now with Coffee Hub.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm the leaseholder of that whole space there. That became mine. But at that time, I didn't want to take on all that retail. Um,
Yeah.
I wish now but you don't know. And so at that point in history of learning to be a business owner and stuff, I wanted to just grow my wholesale and just do that. And so I started to, just really work on, getting somebody else to do the retail. And so one of my wholesale customers, Coffee Hub, they were looking to expand. And so I said, how about doing this partnership? But can you please just keep it so it's gluten free and just have my stuff out front, have your stuff safely, gluten free, have some vegan milk alternatives stuff with your coffee. She's like, let's do it. And so we got everything in place, taken care of, and that's when I just really started to shift a lot of things around.
What's funny is that you said the name, but I didn't catch it only because when I come there, it's like a beeline straight back. I don't even, no offense to the coffee hub because I
Yeah,
love coffee, but when I think Purely Sweet Bakery, I literally don't even see that name and I go, oh, I just want to go to the bakery, you
yeah.
know. And my nephew, I had him taste some of the, I don't know if you remember, but his favorite thing is the ooey gooey bar.
Oh, yes, yes,
I love the ooey gooey bar too.
yes,
I really, really do. And I was like, I can't even believe I'm giving this to you,
yeah.
kid. Like, but I gave it to
It's
him, and he's
rich.
just like, oh, so when are we going? Like every time he's 11 now, and he's just like, when are we gonna go? When are we
Oh,
going? So
that's
I'm
so
like, it
sweet.
is.
Yeah, vegan caramel was one of those things I was just so excited to nail. And so I'm like, we got to start doing things with this vegan caramel. And we do a lot of things with it besides just the gooey bars. And so yeah, it's just been really fun to see how much since we had that partnership, especially, we have
Hmm.
just grown so much more. And that's when I picked up Jungle Gyms and I started picking up some of these other
I didn't even
coffee
know all of
shops. And
that.
yeah, we were with a
Wow.
market in Columbus for 5 years. I actually took our products out just about not even a year ago, 6 months to a year ago, because we were just getting so busy in the Dayton area that I just kind of wanted to scale back. I mean, my dream was to go back to where I lived for 8 years and take something, that I created a business and now have a part of that back home in Columbus. And it was great. I mean, like I said, for 5 years we were there, I had a nice following there, but it was just getting too much with the travel because we had so many places to go. My delivery guy traveling all over the place.
Wow.
So yeah, we scaled back for now, but we talk about going back because
Sometimes
our
you have to
customers.
scale back to get bigger, though.
It's true. I have a business mentor say it's you have to shrink to grow, and I always remember that. So we're trying to figure that out now. Like, what's that look like for us right now? So yeah, we're making plans.
So right now we are expanding as well.
Ooh, that's
It's so much
exciting.
work. It's so much work,
It's a
but
lot of work,
I'm
right?
happy. It's work on the front end, and hopefully, so we're developing more events. we're asking for businesses like yours to come on board and
Yeah.
just become our affiliates because we're doing a membership program.
Yeah. I
And
saw that.
so we're the affiliates, we're going to grandfather them in so that you don't have to really pay anything to join.
Mhm.
But all we ask is that you give our members, once our memberships start to grow, that they get 10, at least just 10% off
Yeah.
of their um off of their orders when they
Yeah.
come. And then when we if you have a space, like once you get a bigger space, that'd be
Mhm.
awesome. But we're looking at doing like trivia nights for vegans, trivia
Oh,
nights, or plant-based people, trivia nights and karaoke nights. And I'm even looking at doing a volleyball league.
wow.
um yeah, so,
Ooh,
so I had
fun
to
stuff.
unfortunately shelve for right now the vegan foodie choice words, and we're going to bring it back. But we're looking to expand and then host our different events in different regions of the country and hopefully
Wow.
globally. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
We just don't,
exciting.
we're trying to build a community of fun around the food. It's like all we
Yeah.
generally do is just go eat, eat, eat. Where can we go eat? Where can we go eat? And it's
Yeah,
like we
yeah.
need some fun stuff too. Because a lot
Yeah.
of times we're like really recluse, we
Yeah.
become kind of recluse. Or when we do go places, we're just bringing our own food and people are looking at us like, why are they
Yes.
doing that?
Oh, yes.
And I know you've been through that with being allergic
Y
to so much stuff. And so,
Yeah.
having to prepare your own food and bringing food to functions
Yes. Yep.
just so you can participate and be social
Yeah.
sometimes can feel a little, you know.
Yep.
So we're just trying to create more things for us to do.
That's so great. I love that.
Yay.
Well, you're a hardworking girl, so I know you're gonna make it happen. I can already
It's
see that.
happening. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, just trying to, I'm actually in some coaching right now, getting all
Oh,
my funnels together so that I can actually do the work once the
yeah.
funnels are created. So yeah,
Nice.
it's a lot of, it's great and I'm excited, but I'm just like, oh.
All right.
And I can't even imagine what it's like to run a facility.
Well, I
I've
tell you,
worked.
staffing is, the whole COVID thing was tough. I lost some staff because they had to go home and be with kids and homeschool. Remember all that? So I lost half my staff then. But because we had to scale back because some of our shops closed, our
Oh
wholesale
no.
saved our business because we had Dorothy Lane Market stores, we had
Wow.
Jungle Gyms,
Wow.
we had
Yeah.
some coffee shops that were still open, so those were considered essential, so that didn't affect me, thankfully. I mean, that was just like such a gift that I am so glad that I grew my wholesale so much at that time because we survived when other businesses were closing.
The creativity that came out of the pandemic as far as
Oh,
survival for
yeah,
retail and
yeah,
different places was phenomenal to see the systems that were created just so businesses could survive. And
yes,
it was really sad because then it was like to see a business fail during that time, it was
mm,
heartbreaking because it was
oh,
so obvious
yeah,
that a lot of them didn't make it,
yeah,
because of what was going on with the pandemic.
yeah,
But for the ones that survive, it's like, oh my gosh, kudos, like,
yeah,
oh, so much respect and, grace and gratitude and thanks to the
yes.
Most High, just.
Yes. Yeah, it was we grew during that time, actually. We picked up 2
I've
more
heard that
accounts.
so many times from some of a lot of quite a few businesses that it
Yeah,
actually it's like it made their businesses explode actually.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we picked
Wow.
up immediately, like, within that first month to 2 months, we picked up 2, coffee shops, and I was just like, "Wow." Yeah, like you, kudos to you for opening up a shop during a pandemic at the beginning of the pandemic, not knowing what was gonna happen, and they're still thriving, they're still doing fine. They made it through all that, so,
So you're
um,
saying the coffee shops that picked you up had opened during
brand
the
new,
pandemic?
brand
Who
new.
who who is that?
Yeah, one of them was in Washington Courthouse.
Oh, that's far. Okay.
Mhm. And then the other one was Grounds for Pleasure in Tip City.
Wow, and
And
I'm
they
not
weren't
too
brand
far.
new. Now, I think they've been
Okay.
around. Yeah, but yeah, I was like surprised that and we were the only supplier for them. It's not like they had gluten stuff. They just wanted our stuff, which I'm like,
So all they really worried about was coffee as far as making coffee, but as far as the treats, that was all you.
it was all ours. Yeah. And it still is to this day. We're still going
Wow.
strong with them. And yeah, it's like, pinch me. This is a gluten-free vegan bakery and we're supplying coffee shops entirely with just our stuff. That's just
That's
such an honor.
amazing.
It's
That's
just an honor.
amazing, Dawn. That's
And now we're looking
amazing.
at another, like I said, there might be another one in the works, and that's just exciting to me.
You're just bubbling. I can't wait to talk to you after this is over. She cannot wait to spill it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it either. Actually, but
I
I'm
know.
like,
I
no,
always get
don't.
excited when something new, because I think as a business owner, you always have to be changing, growing in some way, or switching gears a little bit, maybe trying this over here, and that's just kind of how my creative juices keep
And
flowing
I'm
too.
excited. I love the fact that you're still so excited about being in business for yourself because I know it can be really really stressful, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah,
to
it's definitely stress. All this issue with the costs going up has definitely been this past year has probably been the most stressful I've had in almost 10 years. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary in July, so I'm going to have
oh,
a
congratulations.
party.
Are you gonna have a party?
Yeah, I'm going to do some partying, man. We're going to have some roll out the red carpet and do some fun stuff. Yeah, so
Uh,
watch for that.
maybe I can help plan something.
Ooh, I'd love that too. So yeah, it's every day what gets me up is just knowing I'm helping somebody. Because sometimes when the grind gets hard, because costs are going up and ingredients we can't get them in time, so we have to shift and pivot and try to get it another location, but it's going to cost me $20, $50 more. Sometimes it's like that, and that gets very stressful. um Staff that changes in and out. I've had staff that's been around for a year now. Some of them are
That's
newer, but
amazing.
if you can keep people, 'cause the pandemic changed a lot of things. I got a lot of great talent that came in because they were furloughed in their careers. I had one that was out at the Smithsonian working, and she came home to Centerville to during the pandemic, and she came work for me, and she was amazing. I mean, I can just tell you so many stories of people who came to me
Wow.
because they lost their jobs temporarily.
Wow.
So they brought their talents just because they knew how to decorate, or they love to bake. And they are just some great, great people I got to work with. And so they went back to their careers, last year. So got a whole set of new people, and they're fantastic. A lot of talent, just, highly educated kids. Some of them are engineers. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's just like I'm living the dream. I'm surrounded by great people that just make you look good, and we have a good time in the bakery. And they hear me complain about, well, guess what? Just went up in price.
Oh,
But
so yeah, have you had to have price increases on your products
yeah,
going
yeah,
out?
we
Okay.
recently, so my office manager, who's my youngest son, we spent about 3 months last fall getting started on the whole process. And about January 1, we were done. And so we had to make our announcements to our wholesale
Oh boy.
customers, and
Yeah.
that it was time. And we, tried very hard, and we kept our numbers. I mean, I'm not in this honestly to be a millionaire. We at the end of the day, it's a baked good, so it's not like a high end, expensive. Even though we move a lot of product, you know, a lot of expense comes with that too, and owning a business and the overhead and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, we had to do it. And so far, thankfully, we have not seen any major drop off
Yeah.
in our sales. With people still purchasing, the numbers are still looking good. So we're extremely thankful for that. So yeah, thank you to all of our customers who are continuing to support us.
Yes. Ugh.
Yeah.
So, you're in Beavercreek now and you're talking about expanding. Do you know if you're gonna come back closer to the city? or
Um, so I mean, some of the places we've been looking, it's just interesting because the couple places that we were considering have just suddenly just boomed with things that we were going to add to our business plan. So we're just trying to figure that out right now. But this other thing that we're going to be doing and talking about soon uh,
okay.
is still a good thing. I'm very, very excited about this. I
I
think it's
can
going to be
tell.
good
I
for us
cannot
where we
wait.
are.
You're like
Mhm.
literally, I think your cheeks are like getting blushed. You're blushing. Oh
Probably.
my gosh. Hurry up. When is the hour over so I can know? Gosh.
You'll be one of the first to know.
Yeah, and I swear. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, moving forward. Um I mean, I know you're really, really busy. And oh, let me ask you this. You said your youngest son helps. Is
Yes.
that the one that was that got engaged?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my baby.
Is he engaged?
He's engaged.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. He's getting
Okay.
married June 10th this year.
4 days after my birthday. Oh.
Oh. Yeah. So
Woo.
we love Abby. She's a sweet girl and she's a teacher in Northridge School District.
Not too far from me.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
too far.
Yeah. So, I want to continue the legacy of Purely Sweet Bakery so that he can take over the business when I'm ready to
Does he
retire.
want it? Does he want
Yeah,
to?
he wants
Oh,
to.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I hope
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
daughter's name is Eden.
Oh, I love that.
So that's where
Love that
Mother
name.
of Eden kind of comes from.
Yes.
It has dual meanings.
Yeah. I
But
love it.
yeah. So hopefully my
Yeah, and
daughter.
this is a kid that, back when he was helping me at Second Street Market, teenager, I don't want to get up and go down there and work for the first half of the day because I was back at the bakery working on special orders that had to get out.
I wish he
But
was here. I would ask him what made you what was the moment where you realized your mom was the bomb?
well, I can tell you that because he told me this.
What
So
did he tell you?
when he was at college and he would come back and work for me in the summer because he wanted to make money, he's like, "Mom, I'm exhausted from doing all the deliveries during the summer." And then I think it was 2 summers ago, he worked in the bakery and got to see the day to day operations. And he's like, "You have grown so much." And there was something that ignited in him, probably that little entrepreneurial spirit that I love was birthed in his little heart too. And he just said, I just seen this whole thing. I love the whole idea of entrepreneurship.
I'm
I love
sure
the
he's
whole
so
idea of
proud of
ownership.
you.
Yeah.
You
So
know, knowing seeing that you once not that I mean, because I'm gonna tell you, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I feel like sometimes some people from the outside looking in, they look at you just like you're not doing anything. You're not. It's like
yeah,
that's the hard. First of all, it's one of the hardest jobs in the entire world,
yeah.
especially if you're doing it. Like if you're really like teaching your
Yes.
kids and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And so from your kids' point of view, to see you go from you were taking care of me full time and now look at all of this.
Yes. Yeah.
Look at how well my mom or my parents are doing. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, I want to be a part of that. Like
Yeah.
once that clicks,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
It
sure
just
that's an amazing
it
feeling.
just warmed my heart so much because my office manager that I had for almost 9 years, she was ready to retire because she had a daughter that was finishing the last couple years of high school and she's very busy, so she wanted to be more active in her life, which I totally supported. And so it's like, okay, I need to hire another office manager. And that's when he came to me and said, "Mom, I want to come." He was working, he graduated from college. He had a job with Kettering Health. He was working in the psych ward, doing a great job there. But he said, "Mom, I want to come work for you." He goes, "I
Whoa.
love to see what you're doing and I want to help build on that." And
Oh, that's
so he came in and
amazing.
created this amazing
And how old is
website.
he now?
He's going to be 24 in May.
Oh, he's
Yep.
just a month younger than my daughter. My
Yeah.
daughter's about to turn 24 on April 1st.
Oh,
And
wow.
she's actually in Jamaica right now with 5 of her friends partying it up.
Oh, is
I'm
this the
so
one
glad.
that looks like a model? She's just gorgeous and yeah.
Thank you, yes.
Yeah.
She's actually gonna be on tonight's episode of and today's date is, not that I really wanna tell you. What's today's date? The 28th of March, because this is gonna come out a little later. But, she's gonna be on Snowfall episode, it's a show on FX.
What?
So, this will be her 2nd time on there, and
Oh,
this time
that's
she's gonna be
so
somebody's
neat.
girlfriend at a
Wow.
funeral.
Oh.
I watched the show. I was a fan of the show before she got on there.
Oh,
And
wow.
so,
That's a
Jerome,
proud mom.
Uncle Jerome passed away
Oh,
last on the show. Uncle
yeah.
Jerome passed away last episode. So I already know which funeral. But when she said, "Mom, I'm going to be somebody's girlfriend at a funeral." And I was like, "Well, who?" She's like, "I can't tell you that." I'm like, "What? Who died? Was it Leon? Was it that?" Like I'm sitting up here trying to like figure it out like who died cuz I already watched the show. I've been watching it for I think this is season 6.
Oh my, that must be
Yeah.
so exciting.
It is really exciting.
Yeah.
She did quite a few shows. She's making her way. So I'm really proud of her. She wants to open up a restaurant one day and she's also plant-based.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we'll see and I can't wait till she comes back here. I'm definitely bringing her to your bakery
Oh,
for
I'd love to
sure.
meet her. Yeah,
Oh, I
I'd
can't
love
wait to
to.
introduce you guys for
Yes.
sure. I didn't know I
That's
showed you a
funny.
picture. I guess I
Yeah, yeah, and I saw you show, and I went, wow, she's a model, she's an actress. I mean, gorgeous.
thank you. And she's an
I love.
artist.
Oh, nice,
She's an
nice.
artist like
Wow.
yeah, my
Oh,
son passed away. And so
yeah.
I've seen from the time she was probably about 4. I was like, this girl's gonna be an artist. She's gonna
Wow.
and she wasn't really drawing anything. I could just feel it. I could tell. I don't know what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
And then like kindergarten came, she was just like, I want to be an art teacher. I want to be an art teacher. I want to be an art teacher. And then I'm like, where's that come from? Why is an art teacher the thing? So she never would draw or anything. And then her brother passed away and she would go in his room because we left everything like the same for a
Yeah.
while. She would just go in his room and just start sketching, just
Oh,
freehand. And she drew this picture of herself and it looked exactly like her. Then she drew these 3 pictures. Like
wow.
but
Wow.
sometimes it's really hard when people have that much talent. It's hard
Yeah.
to like pick and choose
Yeah.
what you want. That's the
Which, yeah.
that's the
That's
con.
incredible though. Wow, what talent though to do have choices like that.
Like I'm one of those people as well. I'm
Yeah.
talented in a lot
You
of
told
different
me
areas.
about all the things you've done, so I'm like, she gets it from her mom.
Well, all the work experience and all the different things. Like I feel like I definitely have 4 degrees at this
Yeah.
point, at least 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But as far as like the talent that she has,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I know what it's like, I just gotta choose something. I pick something, and then I learned you don't have to pick anything. You can start things, and you can spearhead this, and then make sure. Like I'm all about passive income and creating different
Mm,
streams of income.
yeah, that's
So
smart. They
I
say you
mean
should have at
honestly, it's the
least
way to.
two of those. So
Hmm.
that's they say you should have at least two of those. So that's good. Good financial planning there.
I mean, like I said before, I realized it was a thing. Like that's something that a lot of these podcasters and different financial,
Yeah.
they're talking about now. But when
Yeah.
I thought about it, I was just like, I still felt like the oddball. So, you know,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
yeah. So where can we find you, Miss Dawn, as far as what's your address to your brick and mortar and where can we find you online?
all right. So we are at 3365 Dayton Senior Road in Beavercreek. We are partnered with Coffee Hub in Beavercreek. Um, and then if you go to www.purelysweetbakery.com, you
Yay.
can see all, and since my son built that, he's got all these great pictures of all the locations where we are and their addresses so you know exactly where to go.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
so happy. Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you for having me. I was really I'm like, oh, yes, I'm doing it. So thank you for the invitation.
Of course. And we'll see you next time on our next episode. Thanks, Dawn.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.